Hi guys. Alicia tells me I'm 2 minutes late, but then Alicia tells me not to mess with my hair. But see, I don't get any mirror time. So listen guys, I'm really sorry about last week's. I tried so hard. I didn't even start my vacation until after I had gone live on Facebook. And yet, oh yay, hey Pam, how are you? Because I wanted so much to talk to y'all, and I pulled Nabila into it and everything, and yet for some reason Alicia said, Alicia, what did you say? I had it somehow so y'all couldn't see it. On only sweet basils, and I could see it. All I know is y'all weren't asking questions, so I was like, okay, goodbye. So I don't know if any of you heard any of this, but I want to, hey Tammy Faye and Dawn, and yay, Dawn's alive. Up from the grave she arose. Okay, so y'all got questions? I'll try to answer. Listen, y'all need to know that, I can't remember if I've even told any of you this, but when I was in Dallas last time, and thank you guys for praying so much for me when I'm in Dallas, and thank you guys in Dallas for praying so much for me when I'm in Georgia. I had this bite show up on my arm. I can't even remember if I ever told y'all about it. Sorry, Alicia, but see, I can see there's this hump in my hair. Alicia's over there going, no, what? She says you can't see it on her phone. Okay, so I'll behave. But I had this bite show up on my arm, and I thought it was a mosquito bite. Mary Kay will say that she saw it, and they do, I'm sorry, this thing's putting messages on my face. And it's not your messages. Your messages are good. This is not good. Hi, Jennifer. Glad you joined us. So this bite shows up in Dallas, and my friends are with Melaleuca, so they put Melaleuca on it for a few days, and it did keep it from itching. But then I put colloidal silver, the naturopath silver salve on it, the ointment. Hey, Pam, just share. Okay. I put the silver on it and covered it up with the Band-Aid, and the next morning it had like 3 heads on it, 3 holes, not really heads, but like 3 holes. So I decided it was a spider bite. It was the craziest thing. It made like a knot the size of a golf ball, okay? And then a few days later, after I got back to Georgia, I had this weird, almost like a heart attack thing. Like I had this major pain in my heart. It threw me into the shower. I was standing outside in the bathroom, and it threw me into the shower curtain. And that would have been weird enough, but it happened the second time. So that's when I text Marge with Newton Labs and said, I think I've got spider venom. Hey, Dennis, I was just talking about you today, about BioNag. We'll leave it at that. Well, so I said to her, can a spider bite cause heart palpitations? And she texts back, you're lucky you didn't have a heart attack. And I thought, this is crazy. I guess spider venom's very, very bad. I tell you all that to say, and then of course she told me what to take. She put me on a couple of homeopathics by Newton, and she's so good, and I'm so grateful to have Marge in my life. But one of the things that what was left was some weird stuff on my skin. And so David, my husband, y'all know I'm married to a missionary. He has some argan oil from Albania, and I put some of that on my arm, and within like 20 minutes, my arm was better. So I started researching the argan oil, and argan oil, before it was ever used for hair and before it was used for skin, it was used for rash. Isn't that interesting? So I said to Alicia, we need to get some organic argan oil. And she said, well, turns out that the people that do our private label, Mountain Alternatives, for our private label essential oils, they had an argan oil, and we had it in our head. It was expensive, and it's not. It's $12.99. We're so excited. And how big is that bottle? Because that bottle looks big. Maybe it's because they sent me a sample size before. Anyway, it looks like it's a
spray bottle.
And it's a spray bottle of argan oil. How perfect is that? And how much is it?
$12.99.
$12.99. And I mean, it's a pretty good sized bottle. It's like the, well, can I Alicia, you knew I was going to get you in here. Come on now.
Oh, I put lipstick on.
Oh, good. She put lipstick on.
Let me see what size it
Well,
is.
I think you told me 1 ounce.
It's 1 ounce.
Well, show me the bottle, okay? It doesn't have the label on it yet, which is kind of weird. Did they say they were overnight in those labels? Yes, okay. They're supposed to overnight the labels. This is the weirdest
It's
thing.
a pretty blue bottle.
It's a, it's very weird. You didn't come in and wave. Hi, this is Alicia. Isn't she gorgeous? Look at this. How cool is this? This big for $12.99. And let me tell you the rest of the story. It's organic. It's organic, pure argan oil with no fragrance. That's a big deal. Okay, so we got a really cool new product, and it just came in. Even though it doesn't have a label, it will have a label by Monday. Okay. And then we also got, I'm sorry, it's not supposed to be about product, Alicia, but since we're talking about our private label, we got a bug spray. How much is this one? This, okay, it's pretty big for what it is. It's, again, all organic and 100% essential oils. What is the carrier oil? Do we know? Coconut oil. So it has all of these wonderful, oh, they put lemongrass. That means you're kind of allergic to it. All these different essential oils. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful. Okay, and this big bottle, and $14.98. We're having a really buggy time right now, guys. Thank you. We're having a buggy time, so if something's saying, claiming that it works for gnats and mosquitoes, it's particularly bad here in the South right now. And those of you who live here, which so far nobody from Dallas has shown up, we have Tammy Faye from Alabama, but everybody else is kind of here locally. So it's a rainy night in Georgia. Is it raining in Alabama? Tammy Faye, let us know if it's raining in Alabama. We are so grateful to have some rain. And Mal, I don't want to hear about you complaining about it raining in Texas, because I have lots and lots and lots of messages from you where you didn't see rain for, what, 16 months or something insane? Okay, I'm exaggerating. But my point is, you've got rain, so yay! We've got some rain tonight too, and we're grateful. Okay, so I put some notes here. Okay, I didn't do it. Alicia and Ginger did. But if y'all aren't going to ask me questions, then I've got things we're going to talk about. I really don't want to talk about the kidney stones, but I'll talk about the story behind the kidney stones, okay? The story is that 3 different times, maybe four different times, but 3 of those times, I would be standing at the wall, and somebody would come in and say, Dr. Parrish, and I'd say, yes, and they'd say, can I give you a kiss? And I go, kidney stones? Every time it's the same story. Tammy, yay, it's raining. Did y'all need the rain too? We need the rain. So the kidney stones, 3 of the 4 times that I know of, the guys came back and gave me a kiss. Because we are 100% successful with kidney stones. So if you know of anybody with kidney stones, please get them to come in, because it's a little more complex than I want to just, blurt all over you. Okay? Now, Pam, hey Melanie, this keeps whopping up things in here. Y'all need to ask me questions, because I don't like to make it feel like it's a paid ad. I don't want to be a paid ad. I really do want to be. Then you ask me a question and I answer it. I mean, if I can, and if I can't, I'll tell you. I get back to you. On my list of things I can talk about, somebody asked me to, thank you for the hearts, guys. Somebody asked me if I could explain what was wrong with the SSRIs. And I said, the only thing I can remember, see, I like to do depression, anxiety, and all that with a homeopathic, because I feel like if you balance it, it's better than if you push something, okay? I think most of you will agree with me. But also I like to do it with Newton, specifically Newton homeopathics, because they're strong and inexpensive. But one of the things that I remember when I was researching 5-HTP one time, I was remembering that it actually made the statement that your brain knows the difference between real serotonin and the fake kind. So what I remembered about the SSRI, what I remember about it is that it destroys your brain's ability to make serotonin. So you're much better off to do a homeopathic. How do you treat mental illness? That's kind of like what I'm saying, Tammy. I really feel like the best approach, and Tammy Faye, you've known me for a while now. Y'all, her name's not really Tammy Faye. But she has giant eyes like Tammy Faye. Anyway, and she was my only friend in Alabama. I really feel like if we could balance the serotonin in our brain, and it makes so much more sense to me to balance it with the homeopathic. Because homeopathics, the whole concept behind homeopathics is to put you back in balance, not to push something. So when you take medications, it destroys your brain's ability to make serotonin. It makes so much more sense to me to actually take a homeopathic that balances. Now, I did just have serotonin homeopathic that I like a whole lot. But then when I got shingles on the face, and I was so deathly ill, and then I got neuralgia, and I had neuralgia for, well, I've still got a touch of the neuralgia part. The shingles I got rid of like within 2 weeks, but the neuralgia kind of hung on. Okay, it's really been hanging on. It's almost 2 years now. But one of the things that was, I woke up one morning and I said, either everything God said was true or nothing he said was true. And he said he was going to work everything to my good. So if he's going to work everything to my good, what could possibly come good out of having neuralgia? And then I realized that it was actually, it was showing that it was it's almost like it's a seizure, like a seizure on the face. But that is real close to Parkinson's or MS or epilepsy, some type of seizure. So I started researching it backwards. Hey, Victoria. Have you started? Oh dear, so you can't see me? Oh dear. Yeah, we're talking about mental illness. Something I know a lot about. So it's like I figured if either God was telling the truth about that he was going to work it all to my good or he wasn't. And if he was going to work it all to my good, then I need to question what is it that I'm supposed to be learning out of this. And one of the things that I learned, hey Victoria, what do you say now? I'm not able to get this going. And Alicia, can you try to call Victoria? Victoria's having trouble getting it coming on for her.
Okay. It's on my phone.
It's on her phone, and it's on Tammy's phone, and Pam's phone, and Dennis's phone. So I don't know, Victoria. I'm so sorry, honey. Anyway, I figured out, okay, what do all these things have in common? If I have this weird neuralgia, which is a form of almost like an epilepsy, form of seizure on the face, then isn't that real close to Parkinson's and MS? And anyway, I wanted you to know how I researched it and how I came out the other end. I asked a couple of colleagues, because that's low dopamine. I asked a couple of colleagues what they do for dopamine, and they named off dopamine, which doesn't work, and tyrosine, which can run up your blood pressure for some people. I was one of them, and I have low blood pressure. So I don't like that approach. And I've got a friend in Texas, okay, 2 friends in Texas, that I put on tyrosine that felt like $1 million for a while, and then they started feeling agitated from the dopamine. So I know that tyrosine is not the right approach either. So again, I called Marge with Newton and asked her about dopamine. It's an approved thing, but they didn't have it, but they brought it in for me from England, I think it is. Wasn't it England? I think it was from England. And put it in with my serotonin. So, Tammy, to answer your question, I feel like the very best thing is the dopamine serotonin homeopathic spray. Because even though it's very mild and it does a gazillion things, Tammy, why don't you get on my schedule, please, baby? Make a telephone consult. If you won't come over and let me hug on you and love on you and I miss you so much, then at least make a telephone call appointment. Please come. I want to see you. I want to see you. I want to... Okay? So, that's my favorite approach. The other thing that's real important is to make sure that you get your DHA high enough and your B vitamins. We don't, extract our B vitamins properly from our food because of alcoholism in the family, okay? If there's an alcoholic in the family, it appears that, and I've known this for a while. Alicia, I can hear you, baby. If there's an alcoholic in the family, then it's like there's a misfiring in our system about our B vitamins. So we can't extract our B vitamins properly if there's an alcoholic in the family, which means low serotonin, low dopamine, okay? I hope all that made sense. My favorite approach is dopamine, serotonin. That's my favorite approach. Okay, guys. Another question that y'all called in was diverticulitis. We've answered that a few times, so forgive me if this is redundant, okay? Somebody didn't hear the answer. The story behind that one is that my sister was in the hospital with diverticulitis and she was getting married, and so I researched it. Golly gee, this was forever ago. I researched it and came up with a bunch of things and put it in a box for a wedding gift. But I decided that I should see how much money I had spent on her. I know how tacky that sounds. But I pulled it all out and it was over $300. And then I realized that we had a product on the shelf that had all of that in it for $9. Okay, I think that product is $11 now. Is that right, Alicia? The GI? I think it's like $11, okay? Hey, Bill, glad you joined us. Tammy Faye, thanks. I miss you too. Please come see me, Tammy. I think that I can really help a lot.
$13.39.
Oh, $13.39. Look how much that's gone up. It was $9.95. Wow. Still $13.99 versus $300. So that $300 would probably be, what, $400 now? Anyway, you got the point. Tammy, one of the things you need to know also, this is again something that is one of those things that are good for everyone to remember, that if people are on a lot of prescription meds, you really don't even want to try herbal. You want to really go for homeopathics, because the homeopathics can be taken right on top of the meds without any contraindication. Totally different than herbs. Why it's so important for you to trust somebody and listen to them. Okay? All right. Anybody else got a question? Okay, I'm going to keep doing the ones y'all called in. Hair color, that's silly. Okay, we do have natural hair color. Please don't look at mine. I think my roots need doing again. Remember that rainy night in Georgia. Boy, my hair shows it. If you ever want to know what the weather's like in Thomasville, just take a look at my hair. Okay, Dawn, it's freezing up. It's what? It's freezing.
Freezing up on her.
Oh, freezing up on you.
It's her signal, though, because I've been watching the whole time.
Because Alicia's been watching the whole time. So Alicia's saying that it must be your signal because and you know, it's quite possible that this is atmospheric, because I have noticed that, and y'all probably have too, that if ever it's raining outside, the cell phones don't work right. I'm sorry. So I hope it's freezing in a very flattering position. Dawn, how are you feeling? How are you feeling? I checked somebody's appendix today, and I'm thinking, that was my friend Dawn. I've really been praying for you. Okay. Oh, hair color. We really do have natural hair color. Who's it by?
Nature Tint.
Nature Tint. We like the one by Nature Tint, okay? And I combine them. Mary Alva taught me that, and she also taught me that you don't have to use the whole thing no matter what they say. So I combine two colors, and I actually put a splash of another color in there. Okay, I put a splash of the bright red, but all the other colors are all blonde. So you figure, don't go by the color on the box, don't go by the name. Just know we have a swatch. We have little hairs on the hair color, okay? And then you can tell by that. You can tell by that, and you go one color lighter than the color you wanted, in case you don't get to me in time to find out the answer to that. Okay, somebody was asking the difference between magnesium and magnesium malate. Okay, Victoria's not working. Put your arm down, they are. What now?
arms down there frozen on the computer.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't even remember raising my arms. Okay, that's funny. That's funny, Victoria. But I could have been fixing my hair, right? What was I saying? Magnesium versus magnesium malate. It's just a chelation issue, okay? Like the magnesium, the Fizzy Mag, which I like so much, has Sweet Basil's label on it. These guys kept going up in price, and so I finally found one that we could put our label on. It's cheaper and stronger. But that form of magnesium, you go by your bowels to decide how much you're supposed to take. Where the malate form of magnesium causes no bowel issues. Now, you're supposed to take magnesium at bedtime all the way to bowel tolerance. So what I say to people with this one is take it to bowel tolerance. I kind of only sell this to those of you who don't know about the other one yet, because they kind of made me mad. They creep up in the price every time we order. Hey, Ricky, you don't look a bit older. Ricky just had a birthday. So you take the magnesium all the way to bowel tolerance, so you need the magnesium that affects the bowels, okay? But the malate form, the chelation on the magnesium malate, is a different chelation, so it doesn't cause any bowel issues. So if you're trying to use your bowels to decide how much magnesium to take, it doesn't really work. But the malate form of magnesium is the one you take during the day because it doesn't have bowel issues, but it chelates to heavy metal. Yay! So heavy metal in the brain, of course, is what causes Alzheimer's. Also, heavy metal can cause neurological things. I had that come up with someone today, and that's the one I put people on that have fibromyalgia, okay? Because that's the proper one for you to take if you have, if you're trying to increase your magnesium. Oh, let me back up. Some of you don't know why I really push magnesium, period. Okay, if you have enough magnesium, you can't have a heart attack, and you can't have a stroke, and you can't have diabetes. Hi, Alicia's waving to me. I think she's telling me 5 minutes. You can't have a heart attack, you can't have a stroke, and when they do autopsies on people with Alzheimer's, they're all low in magnesium. So go figure. How important is magnesium? But the way you know whether or not you need magnesium is whether or not you have high blood pressure, diabetes, memory issues, you're constipated, or if your muscles hurt. Now, if David Parrish were listening, Ricky, you know I think I married the wrong brother. David doesn't do Facebook, okay? He said yes, sis. I have David on very high doses of magnesium malate because his hands keep going to sleep, okay? And the magnesium malate relaxes muscles, okay? So that's the difference. It's the chelation, whether it's the magnesium malate or the magnesium citrate, or the Sweet Basil one's actually an aspartate. The bottom, and it's got a bunch of other chelation in it. But the bottom line is that one's good at night because it does affect the bowels, and the other is good during the day because it doesn't affect the bowels, but it chelates to heavy metal. Okay, I hope that makes sense. All right. The other thing, now it's 3 minutes. I got to talk quick. Pam, I thought you had a question. Ask your question. Where's your crazy husband? I thought he had questions. Dennis, you're not going to pick on me at all. Melanie, did you have a question? Would it help restless legs? Absolutely. But Melanie, I like another product for restless legs first. I'd like for you to do a bottle or two of Bluebonnet Magnesium Potassium Bromelain. So if you'll call Alicia, she'll tell you how to take it. because everybody's different, so she's going to ask you some personal questions like your body weight and all that. But the reason I like that better is if you're having restless legs, which, by the way, I consider that to be the one thing God has a symptom that God has for us to keep us from having. If you have restless legs or if you have a Charlie horse, that's a ding, 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 ding. You got to get help. Because if you don't get your magnesium and potassium ratio right, then you could very well have a stroke. So to me, it's like a good thing. Restless legs is a good thing because it's a telltale sign, okay? I like the Bluebonnet, magnesium, potassium, bromelain at the proper dose based on you. And then after a bottle or two of that, just take your Fizzy Mag every night, and that's probably enough. I personally just was tested by my friend Henry Hall in Tallahassee, and he says I'm low in magnesium, and I'm like, that's not possible. I'm the one that preaches magnesium all the time. He said, well, you're low in magnesium. And it turns out that I needed more magnesium, so I added malate, because the magnesium malate's for heavy metal, and it doesn't cause any bowel issues. Hope all that makes sense. Well, guys, I don't know how the time goes by so quickly, but I just want to let you know that I really, really, really appreciate every one of you, especially those of you who I know I can see your faces, and I'm thinking, I love you. Thank you for supporting us. God bless you. Bye-bye.